What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is going to be about finishing up this Cayman rebuild. It's basically going to consist of the refinishing portion and the reassembly of the vehicle. So stay tuned. So the bumper is in the paint booth, it's ready to be primed, it's taped up, sanded, all ready to go. What we're going to be putting on it today is MIPA primer. It's a 4-to-1 primer, it's 4 parts primer, 1 part hardener. It does not call for a reducer, but I do like to put a splash of reducer, maybe 5, at the most 10%. It seems like it makes it spray a little bit better, makes it a little bit more even. And it's going to be about 2, probably 3 coats of primer put on this bumper. We're going to get some footage of that, so here we go. Alright, so the primer's dry. We're going to put some guide coat on this thing. We have 2 choices in guide coat. This is a just cheap Walmart rattle can spray paint. And this is a dry guide coat. This one's made by 3M, and this is the applicator. It's just a powder. You can spread it on the panel. We're going to use the cheap Walmart spray can for a guide coat on this. And what guide coat does is basically gives you a visual representation of low spots and high spots. So it doesn't necessarily, when you get all the guide coat going off the panel, it doesn't necessarily make it straight, but it gives you a visual representation of what you're close to being straight. So we're going to do that now. Here we go. Alright, so we're going to be sanding this primer with 220 grit sandpaper on a block. So we're going to get sanding on that right now. Alright, so you can see what the guide coat's doing. This where the guide coat's still there, that's a low spot, and where the guide coat is gone, that is a high spot. So you can keep sanding till the it's all looks like it's sanded and all the black's gone away, and then you'll know that you're close to being straight. Alright, so now that we've got it blocked with 220, the next step will be sanding it with 320 DA. Breaking out the dual action sander, the orbital sander again, and this one has an intermediate pad. So it kind of flows with the rounded surface and makes everything stand out. Basically, as close as you can get to hand sanding without hand sanding. Alright, so now that we're done DAing the bumper, we're going to take the old piece of 320 grit DA paper, fold it up, make a sandpaper taco, and hit all the edges that we couldn't hit with the DA. Alright, so now that we have finished sanding the edges with the used piece of 320, breaking out the red pad again. You see a pattern here? There's a lot of repetition in the work that I do. So we're going to go over all the edges with the red pad, go over the whole panel again just to verify that everything is scuffed and is ready for us to start putting a sealer on it. So we're going to do that now. Here we go. So what's next is scuffing the tow hook cover and the two fog light covers with the trusty red Scotch-Brite. So I'm gonna get right on that now. Here we go. Wiping down a panel for paint, I wipe it down with Prep All, basically a wax and grease remover. And what it does is clean the panel really well so that you don't have any impurities like silicone or any oils or anything like that that would cause it to fish eye or do anything funny. So you always wipe it down before you paint. Alright, so after it's wiped down with the wax and grease remover, I like to use a tack rag. And this is basically what I use here. I use the surgical blue rags. It just basically looks like cheesecloth, but it has a little tack to it. It's kind of sticky. And when you're tacking off the panel, it basically pulls off any dust or lint that might be stuck to the panel before you paint it. So when I say tack off, this is what I mean by tacking off. I'm going to be putting on my paint suit. You've probably seen me wear this a few times. It's basically a lint-free suit that keeps any particles of lint or dust from coming off my body, or any impurities for that matter from coming off my body and getting onto the panel while I'm painting it. So I'm going to get this thing put on and then we'll start painting. And this thing smells pretty rough. Good thing you guys don't have smell-o-vision, because this thing smells like the southbound end of a northbound mule. Whew, I need to wash it. Alright, so I've got the sealer mixed up. We're going to go put it on the panel. It's basically one coat of sealer, and what I'm going to be using is this chromatic sealer by PPG. It's a global product. It's 3 1-to-1, 3 parts sealer, 1 part hardener, and 1 part reducer. That's already mixed up. We're going to go put it on the car now. Here we go. Alright, so we got the sealer on the bumper. Next step is putting some base coat on. I'm going to be using Enviro Base, and it is a waterborne base coat that basically covers in 2 coats, which is awesome. You can get away with it sometimes with solvent, but most solvents are 3 to 4 coats to coverage. With this Enviro Base Black, 2 coats going to be covered. So 2 coats of base coat. Here we go. Alright, so the base coat's on. We've got both coats on there. It's letting it flash off now. We got a fan blowing on it. Air movement helps a lot with the waterborne, getting it flash off. So once it's flashed off, we're going to be putting a clear coat on it. And the clear coat I'm using today is DC 3000. It's a 4-to-1 product. It's 4 parts clear coat, 1 part hardener. This is the hardener I like to use. It's the DCH 3095. It's a little bit slower, but it lays out nice, looks nice. Once the base coat's flashed off, we'll start putting that on, and this is what it looks like right here. 2 coats. Alright, I got the second coat of clear on. It looks great. When I'm doing 2 coats, it's about a 10 to 15 minute flash off time in between coats. But I've got both coats on. It looks great. It'll dry overnight, and then tomorrow we'll get it and start putting it back together. So all that's left for me to do now is to clean out my paint guns and get this stinky paint suit off. What we gotta do next is put some primer and some seam sealer and paint that black. And then what we have to do is replace this reinforcement and these shocks, because the shocks are collapsed and the reinforcement here has a bent mark. And what I mean by shocks, these these pedestals that actually hold the reinforcement, if you can see here, it can slide down in there, and it's filled with gas or oil, and basically it's like just a shock absorber. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be putting on this panel, after we've scuffed it and cleaned it up, we're going to use this Easy Coat. It's made by Sim. It's direct to metal, and it comes in colors that are natural OEM under hood colors. So this light tan, is pretty close to that. So we'll be able to apply that to it, dust it out, and then dust black over that and give it the OEM finish. So we'll put this on, and then we'll put some seam sealer on, make the brush strokes like factory, and then apply some black base coat and a little bit of clear coat over that. So we're gonna get on that right now. Alright, so as soon as the Easy Coat flashes off, I'll be applying some seam sealer, and what I'm using is the Sim Heavy Body Seam Sealer, and it comes in different colors. This is the black formula. We will squirt it on the seams, and then I'll take an acid brush and brush it out and try to duplicate the factory seam sealer brush strokes and make it look like it's never been bumped. So once we do that, got a 10-minute work time, a 15-minute set time, and then 0 minutes to top coat. So I could actually put black paint over it immediately after applying it. So once I get it spread out, I'll let it dry a little bit, and then we'll start putting the black on. Repaired side, factory side. Alright, so we got the Cayman put back together. We're going to get it off the frame machine and get it delivered back to the customer. Pearls of wisdom from an old dirty body man.
If the grass is greener on the other side, you can bet the water bill's higher.
Alright, so that's going to be about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thanks for watching. Wait, I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. All those things are greatly appreciated, and they help me more than you know. See ya! So we've got the car, and here comes another freaking siren. Really? Dropping down It'd be about, stop saying, It looks great. I don't think we're gonna have to buff it or anything, so tomorrow it'll be dry, and then once it's dry, I can't get the freaking off my neck.